Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Merman Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel with a brand new video today. And in today's video, I'm excited to profile the most recent deck I've been working on. This is my version of Six Samurais. It's a bespoke deck that I'm naming the Bushido Code. The reason for that being is that rather than being a deck that focuses on crazy amounts of link spam, this is a pure Six Samurai deck in the strongest sense of the word. I wanted to use Six Samurais from all across the time periods, bringing them together in a deck that feels fun to play, but more importantly, guys, fun to fight against. You got to think very, very hard to play with this deck. It excels at going first or going second, and it's just an incredibly fun, interesting strategy. I'll show you some of the cool stuff that I have in here very, very soon. So guys, starting off with this deck, as you guys can tell, the reason why it's different is one copy of Great Shogun Shen. This guy actually inspired me to put back together Six Samurais after owning them for quite a while. And if you guys can kind of see here, I'm not sure if it's particularly clear, but he's actually sun bleached near the top of the card. And so what happens here is that the coloring of the effect on the top of the card is like the same exact color of his armor. And I saw this in some guy's binder and I was just like, I have to have this. Not only that, but you know, he's an ultimate rare first edition, and you guys know my love for max rarity decks. Great Shogun Shen's actually super, super good because he can be special summoned when any two Six Samurais are on the field from your hand. And then he also has an extra added effect that your opponent can only activate one spell or trap per turn while he's on the field, so you can put together a nasty combo with legendary Six Samurai Shien to basically choose which one spell or trap effect you want your opponent to go through. And then if he would be popped, you can pop another Six Samurai you control in his place. So he's really good. Perfect one to go across from him is one copy of Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. The reason this deck exists now is because I was able to get a secret rare first edition copy of this for a very, very good deal. Grandmaster of the Six Samurai is perfect in here at 1 because he can only be on the field. Only one copy of him can be on the field, but if he's destroyed by card effects, he can send to the graveyard and then add any Six Samurai back to your hand, including himself. But the most important part of his special ability is that if you control any one Six Samurai, you can special summon Grandmaster from your hand. So really, really good card. Not good enough anywhere more than 1, but I think definitely a 1. So these two create a really, really nice combo and are kind of like the two reasons why I decided to put this deck together in the first place. So now, guys, moving off to some of the Six Samurai other monsters here. Of course, it wouldn't be a Six Samurai deck without 3 copies of Six Samurai Kizan. He's your special summon kind of guy. Helps with asceticism and stuff as well. Absolutely have to have him. He is one of your best monsters. Just opens up so many plays. His typing, his attribute, his level, a level 4 Earth Warrior, like always in high demand. Next, we've got 3 copies of Kagemusha of the Six Samurai. Now, a lot of the new Samurai players, as you guys have probably seen, no longer run this card. They still run the Kizan, but I'm running a lot of cards in here that no Samurai player runs anymore. And you guys will see a noticeable absence of certain things. That just sort of services to make it more fun. And Kagemusha is one of those cards. He's a fantastic tuner, level 2 Earth monster. Combos really well with all your level 3 Samurais to be able to go into Shien, and combos with Kizan to go into a Barkion. Even better, he actually has an ability that can redirect targeting effects to himself, which can come in super, super handy, especially with the preponderance of targeting effects recently as the game has started to evolve. So we'll put those guys up there. Next cards we have are 2 copies of Elder of the Six Samurai, who's kind of like your Cyber Dragon of the deck. He's really good going second and is also an Earth. And finally, 2 copies of Legendary Six Samurai Kageki. Kageki normal summons and then special summons and then gains 1500 attack. He's got a cute little combo with the Shen XYZ monster you run in the extra deck, but really he's in here to just special summon other Six Samurais from your hand. But the most important thing about these guys, so while this is for the synchros and tuning, these guys are in here for a very, very specific reason. It's to act as other Six Samurai names. And you'll see exactly why with with some of the next cards that I'm going to do. But first, I'm only running 2 of the Secret Six Samurais, and that's 2 copies of Secret Six Samurai Fuma. I really, really do not like any of the new Secret Six Samurais. I think the ninja theme is kind of counterintuitive to what Six Samurais as an archetype were. Samurais and ninjas are supposed to fight. So on a lore perspective, that's not good. But also, they tried to introduce like a really kind of ham-fisted banishing method. Rihan and the spell cards and stuff like that they introduced for the deck were really, really terrible. And I just didn't really feel like the play style meshed. The only card I was willing to consider was Fuma because of his status as a tuner monster. He's a level 1 6 samurai tuner monster. He brought out very easily with Dojo instead of the monkey, but also doesn't share any of those like stupid banishing restrictions and is very easy to asceticism out of the deck with Kageki, which a guy like Kizaru is not. I'm not really a fan of Kizaru, especially for a strategy like this. It's more lore based, but this guy right here, Fuma. When he's destroyed, you can special summon another 6 samurai from your deck. So it's like he's slower in that way, but also he has the ability to banish if one of your 6 samurais would be destroyed from the graveyard himself to protect that monster, and that's not an activated effect. So guys, now moving on, the importance of having those special summon guys in here, of course, is for these one copy each of Legendary 6 Samurai and Nishi and Hand of the 6 Samurai. These guys have actually gone quite out of style compared to what they were before, but I love them both. Inishi, way back in the Storm of Ragnarok era of 6 Samurai, was one of the best 6 Samurai monsters, arguably the best one. Any 2 6 Samurais you control, you can banish 2 from your graveyard and then bounce a card your opponent controls. And this was like a once per turn non-destruction removal effect that could be activated during either player's turn. So it was incredibly, incredibly good and gave them a ton of removal potential. But I really love him in here for just, old time's sake. And then Hand also pops monsters, and unlike Mizuho and Shinai, is not once per turn. So she's really, really good. Now, guys, the reason for why I'm doing this is right here. This is the pièce de résistance, as they say. 1 copy of 6 Samurai Zanji, 1 copy of 6 Samurai Iroh, 1 copy of 6 Samurai Yaichi, 1 copy of 6 Samurai Kamon, and finally, 1 copy of 6 Samurai Nisashi. That's right, guys. This is one of the only deck profiles you'll see on YouTube in 2020 running the original 6 Samurai guys. The only one, of course, missing is Yuriza. I just couldn't justify finding space for him, unfortunately. But all of these 6 Samurais here are absolutely fantastic. And I can't speak highly enough about them. Basically, they each have different abilities, but their main ability is that they all cannot be destroyed. If they would be destroyed, you can destroy another 6 Samurai on the field, and they can all only activate effects when they are when you control another 6 Samurai monster. So I kind of split them up like this in a way, but they've proven in this particular deck to be just so incredibly useful. And a big shout out, of course, to Dark Magic Ian for convincing me that it was worth it to run these guys again in an old 6 Samurai deck. So big shout out to you guys know him, and you guys know him well, Dark Magic Ian. So Zanji and Iroh are your most powerful guys. They're great asceticism targets. They were always in this deck as asceticism targets, Iroh into Inishi and some other guys. But basically, they help you destroy monsters. So Iroh can destroy any face-up monster that he attacks. And then after the damage calc, and then 6 Samurai, or Zanji can destroy face-up, and then Iroh destroys a face-down with his effect. And they both activate when you control another 6 Samurai monster. Yaichi and Kamon, in exchange for their attacks, Yaichi allows you to destroy a face-down spell or trap, and Kamon allows you to destroy a face-up spell or trap. Kamon has actually come in, so both Yaichi and Kamon have been incredibly useful because I don't really run too much spell and trap removal in this deck, so having Yaichi to pop the face-up, the face-down spell and traps that my opponent has, or bait out stuff that they might be saving for like a Shien or something like that, is super, super fun and really, really awesome. Nobody sees it coming. especially with Camon as well, who can be brought to the field to pop floodgates, things like there can only be one, and other things like that that sort of prevent you from getting different plays off and things like that. And so it definitely can come in incredibly useful against different plays. And then finally, Nisashi. Dark Magic Ian was actually the one who convinced me. I thought Nisashi was like the worst card ever, but let me tell you guys, this guy can lead to some crazy scenarios. Basically, when you control another 6 Samurai, he can attack twice. So you can attack twice with him, and then if you boost him up with your gateway, and you do use that effect, you can get him up like 29, 3,500 attack power sometimes and swing in. There was actually one play that I did against my friend Jared where I did 2 swings with Nisashi, and then I activated Cutting the 6 Samurai, tributing Nisashi, special summoning him back, and getting another 2 attacks. So he's really cool. Super awesome 6 Samurai monster, and he can steal games sometime. The 14, don't laugh at the 1400 because sometimes it can come in very big handy. So that's gonna be it for the monsters, guys. Sorry I sort of went over with it, but I'm super passionate. Now moving on to the spells. Of course, commonality in all 6 Samurai decks is the Shen Smoke Signal. This searches more than ever any level 3 or lowers, and it's not once per turn. You gotta run this card in here at 3, guys. Next is a card that a lot of 6 Samurai players have surprisingly taken out. It's the 3 copies of 6 Samurai United. 6 Samurai United, for every 6 Samurai monster, normal or special, gains a Bushido counter. Then you can remove this card when it has 2 Bushido counters, which is the max it can hold, to draw 1 card for each Bushido counter on this card when it was removed. Really cool card, and I love it. And of course, had to get the Turbo Pack Super Rares just to bling the deck out a little bit more. Next card that I'm thinking actually about bumping up to 3 is 2 copies of Shen's Dojo. Need 1 more first ed, guys, but we're working on it. Shen's Dojo is an incredible card, especially in this deck, because it allows you to grab any 6 Samurais. So there's specific cards that don't allow you to grab certain ones, or you might not have the ability to special summon stuff, but this guy's great if you have a level 4 to grab your Fuma out of your deck, or it's like basically for whatever missing, whether you need another name for one of your original 6 Samurais, or you need a synchro material, or whatever you're looking for. Shen's Dojo's got you covered, and it's just such an amazing card. Now, guys, another card that people are not running that much nowadays is Asceticism to 6 Samurai. I'm split between 2 and 3 on this card, mostly because I don't really know, how I'm gonna play around with some of the numbers and stuff for Asceticism, but I think it's really cool. I suggested to Ian running the Psychic Blade so you can manipulate your attack values and be able to Asceticism anything from your deck, which is really cool. But Asceticism just allows you to grab whatever material for usually a synchro that you're missing, and it pops it during the end phase, but it's usually not going to be around long enough for it to really matter. Now, guys, the king of the deck, of course, 1 copy of Gateway of the 6. And Gateway the 6 is so useful for multiple reasons in this deck. And you actually will use and resolve all 3 of its effects over the course of a duel, which I think is, everyone just knows it for its remove 4 counters. Basically, it gains 2 counters for every 6 Samurai summoned, and then you can multiple times a turn remove counters from this card to activate certain effects. So one of its effects is the one that's used the most is adding 1 6 Samurai monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So useful. No level restrictions or anything on that. But it's got 2 more effects. Its first effect is you can remove any 2 counters to boost a 6 Samurai monster's attack power by 500 attack. So actually, when it came to running over, I have trouble dealing with big monsters that have untargeting and non-destruction. I can use a whole bunch of summons with Gateway and then remove a whole bunch of counters to give one of my monsters a big boost and beat over that monster. You wouldn't do that in a normal 6 Samurai deck that focuses on link summoning and going for Boral Swords and things like that, or trying to do non-targeting destruction. So it's so fun to be able to use one of the effects that Gateway is not known for. Its remove 6 counter effect is actually really good as well, because if your Great Shogun Shen goes to the graveyard, you can use this effect to revive him from the graveyard. This card can also revive the XYZ monster as well, which makes it incredibly, incredibly useful. So I really love Gateway for the fact that I can use all of its effects and not just its original one. Now, guys, as I was talking about before, 1 copy of Cunning of the Six Samurai. Really, really love this card. Especially great in Master Rule 4, because you can use this to target any one of your 6 samurais, bring it back, and then instantly get its effect again. So you can reset the effects on things like Yaichi and Kamon, but most importantly, resetting the effect on something like Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. Your opponent activates a spell or trap, like, some kind of like Raigeki or something to, they're playing like Shadal Invoked, Raigeki to pop your Shien. You negate the effect and then chain Cunning from your back row, sending the Shien to the graveyard, reviving the Shien back to your main monster zone, and resetting Shien's negation effect so that your opponent pretty much wasted that piece of resource for nothing, and then they have to waste another resource in order to get their plays off. This card is great also on the offensive for OTKs. I call it sort of this deck's Book of Moon, because it's just so versatile. It's very good in here at 1. You don't want to see it at more than 1, because, a well-placed and well-timed Cunning of the Six Samurai is sometimes enough to end a game. So I absolutely love this card and swear by it, and don't feel like I would ever take it out of the deck. And now, moving on to one of the cheesiest cards in my whole deck, a card probably most of you guys might not even know exists. It's called 6 Scrolls of the Samurai. And what this card does is, it was a card released in Crimson Crisis, and the effect of it is you contribute 2 face-up 6 samurai monsters to special summon Great Shogun Shen from your deck. Crazy card, a straight up -3, but when you drop this on somebody and you go for an OTK with Great Shogun, there's no better feeling. Resolving the 6 Scrolls of the Samurai is kind of like resolving a full house. But it's super great, because if you have multiple 6 samurais, which you do have a lot in this deck because you are special summoning a great deal, you can assemble the Great Shogun combo easier. It's the only card that can search Great Shogun out of the deck, so you don't have to rely on hard drawing him as much. But definitely a card that wouldn't be run competitively, but is so fun for those cheesy moments that you can sometimes have. And now, finishing off with the spells, Magical Midbreaker Field. Might replace this, but I love this card because it protects your 6 samurais during the main phase. None of them have built-in monster effect removal protection and things like that, so because they don't have the targeting protection, Midbreaker Field can help protect them a little bit more. Next, of course, guys, we have 1 copy of Reinforcements of the Army. Gotta have that card in the deck. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. And finally, one of the best cards in the whole deck, guys, is 1 copy of Upstart Goblin. Now, Upstart Goblin is kind of interesting because, at 1, it's not really that useful, is what a lot of people think. But literally every single time I've resolved Upstart Goblin, I've always drawn into exactly the thing that I need. This deck is very combo-oriented, and being at a 40-card limit here, you want to get it down to 39 and make sure you're drawing into every possible combo piece. I am running a lot of bricks in here, all the OG 6 samurais, they're all bricks. So increasing the consistency in the background so that I'm able to run those 6 samurais is probably the thing that I'm focused on the most. Trying to make sure that the rest of the deck runs smoothly so that the original 6 samurais and Great Shogun Shen can really strut their stuff on the field. So Upstart Goblin, plays into that so well. Now, finally, for the 2 trap cards I only have 2 in here. Might bump the numbers up, but I'm going to see. It's 1 copy of Double-Edged Sword Technique and 1 Musakani Magatama. Musakani is not run anymore, and neither is Double-Edged Sword Technique. A lot of players find them too slow. But Musakani is great because if a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that would destroy a card, any card anywhere, while you control a 6 samurai monster, you negate it and destroy it. Nice counter trap action. And Double-Edged Sword Technique revives any 2 6 samurai monsters from your graveyard, but they're destroyed during the end phase, and you take damage equal to their attack powers. But usually you're synchroing and or XYZing or whatever away with those guys before that happens. So that's it for the main deck. Now it's exactly 40 cards. Moving on to the extra. So for the extra deck, guys, we're starting this thing out right now. It's not a final deck, but we've got the 3 copies of legendary Six Samurai Shi-En. Now, Shi-En is a wonderful, wonderful card. Once per turn, spell or trap negation, and shares Great Shogun's effect to destroy another Six Samurai you control if he would be destroyed. Just a super, super good card, super easy to make. They're actually the same guy, but in different parts of his life. And, it's just he's your main guy who you want to go into, and definitely one of your big, big playmakers. And, the fact that they count as Six Samurais is a very, very good thing. Now, we've got this guy, Shadow of the Six Samurai Shen. Don't go into him as much, but great to go into with 2 Kizans. Counts as an extra Six Samurai name to get more Bushido counters. But really is awesome because he can help boost up your Kageki for cute plays and different scenarios of that nature. Boosts up some of your other lower attack power Six Samurai monsters to help them run over other things. And is just a good all-around card. Next card, the only reason I run this card, I don't even summon him, and I prefer not to summon him. I just think he's a little bit too broken for this deck. But this is the guy that searches Gateway out of your deck and gains you more Bushido counters. This is what makes Six Samurais as broken as they actually are. It allows them to loop and do crazy plays and stuff like that. So definitely he's a little bit too good for his own good, but I just have him in here just in case I'm playing an actual tournament match or someone wants to play a real match and not just a friendly. Of course, Six Samurai deck wouldn't be complete without Beast and Barkion. Got to have these guys in here. Negates spells, negates traps. You guys know the rest of the deal. 1 copy of Bryanak. I need the DT version of this guy, unfortunately, but never wanted to pick him up until recently. I've got a Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. You can make this with the who is it? Your Grandmaster and your Kagemusha. Really, really good card. Super, super fun. Very good against current meta. Then we've got 1 copy of Trishula. Super easy to make. Any level 4, and then your Kagemusha and your Elder or your Kageki can make this guy very, very easily. Super, super fun card to have. Trishula is always going to be amazing. And then finally, a Junior Dawson original. We've got Ally of Justice Decisive Armor. There's a lot better level 10s you can run in this deck, but F it, this is one of the coolest cards that's ever been released. And he's a throwback to the olden days when I used to really, really love this game and really love the competitive scene. So guys, that is it for the deck profile. It is 40 cards. The extra deck can be sort of whatever you want. I'm just running, sort of a showcase of all of my old favorite synchros. I'm probably going to throw things like Maystroke and other favorite XYZs in here just to have a nice, casual, fun match. But yeah, I'm sorry that the video did go a little bit long, guys, but I really, really enjoy this deck profile and really hope that you guys do as well. I'm still working on it, still tweaking it, but it's close to being done, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But this has been the Merman Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.